How's it going, everyone? Happy New Year. Cheers. No, I may look like shit, but I'm not hungover. I'm just on nights over the weekend. So, bed at 4 a.m. Up about half an hour ago. Just trying to fit these in because otherwise, obviously, I wouldn't have the opportunity to do it over Sunday. And there's football all over the weekend, so just in the interest of getting out early, we will return to Sunday from here on in. I think it's just these 2 weeks really that are scheduled for a bit of chaos over Christmas, but all good because you lot get the information early, I suppose. So there is that. Happy New Year, Boris. Hi, Luke. Same old regulars here. Andy Martin, hey mate. Sorry, you probably wanted to be on this one. Keep shafting him. It won't continue. We need you back. We need you to bounce off. Yeah. Interesting game week, wasn't it? Lots of clean sheets. Bit different to last week where we had none. This is CM though, right? I mean, just looking at those scores in the middle of the screen. It's kind of gone to type though, isn't it? Home advantage. It's only Bolton who have, again, somehow pulled off a win. But Derby are rock bottom. But yeah, everyone else is either a home win or a draw, isn't it? Man United lost, Gary Smith saying, yeah. I suppose this is where this is different to real football though, right? Because I'm pretty sure the bookies would have had Man United as favourites in this one. Because, you know, Man United are the best team. They're winning every game, aren't they? I think they've won every game or close to it. No, they drew one. And Arsenal were rock bottom, I think, or very close to it, having won barely any games. But this is where the matchup comes in. And Arsenal at home to Man United is a really good matchup. Because Man United play defensive under the new manager. So always give the opposition, or the home team, the advantage in the game. It's just whether they can take it. So I think Simmer's had Arsenal coming out as favourites, and it proved to be. So there's that little difference that I like on compared to real football. It doesn't really go with form in that. It's more to do with the matchup. Omri did not score, Gary. He did not score. He really should have. Gardner and Jääskeläinen. Yeah, I've got that combo. And I bought Jääskeläinen for save points and Gardner for just the chance that he gets one of his 18 assist seasons. Apart from that one game where he got 2 assists, he's been largely rubbish. But they've just turned into like the best defence in the world. So there you go. I'll take it. We may as well click into the game though. So yeah, Henry with a 9. Didn't really stand out too much in the stats. Obviously got an assist, but the reason being is this old run thing again. He got 7 runs, so he took the piss running past the centre backs all the game. Obviously had a bit of a blinder. Typical Henry performance. Too hard to catch, but just didn't finish it off with a goal. Again, which has been a common theme for him, hasn't it? Yep, Jeff has scored. Don't know what time zone you're in, Gary. Did you not keep up with the tweets? Fuck my life. Yeah, he scored. He went off. Didn't do too much, but he got his goal. This often happens when Jeffers plays with Henry. He steals the goal. He's more the poacher, and so it was proved to be. Holloway vanished finally. I have no idea whether he'll come back. We've been through this a lot. I mean, now Maniga's number 1 apparently, and Richard Wright's on the bench rather than Holloway on the bench. I'd just avoid Arsenal keepers altogether, but I'd certainly give it next week to see if Holloway turns back up again. It could have been a one-off. I don't know. 7 runs, well, that's nearly as much as Eric Dyer. Oh, you don't use Twitter, Gary? That explains so much. Fair enough. I wish I didn't, to be honest. Nah, it can be good. It can be decent. Manchester United, there wasn't too much to write home about apart from Van Nistelrooy just did his thing again. Winning headers, key headers, had 2 shots. He didn't do anything wrong. Usually got... In Sims, most of the time you get like a 7 in this and not score. So you could say a bit of a jammy goal, but his performance probably deserved one. Hi, Strong. Going out for a walk now. I'll catch you later. Yeah, no worries, mate. Catch up later. All good. So there we have it. There's the key stats. as you can tell from my night shifts, I didn't have much time to prepare for this. So, actually, did I even show the main stats in this? Yeah. Could say Arsenal are fortunate to score 3 goals off of that. A lot more possession, though. Holloway gave way. Villa Middlesbrough. 5 shots on target each. Villa slightly more shots, slightly more possession. So I would have expected them probably to nick it. Parnaby's goal in the last minute, though. He's not even in the game because he doesn't very often play. But there we go. He turned up. Now, Mellberg and Barry, again, we know the Aston Villa centre-backs, similar to the Middlesbrough ones, actually, can do bits, especially at home. You know, didn't get 9s or 10s here, but always in the frame for bonus as a result. That's why I still like Mellberg a lot. Usually Alpay plays there, Barry plays left back, but Alan Wright plays the odd game, or has been playing quite a few, so I think if you have to go for one, it has to be Mellberg, unfortunately. Angel came off on the 50th minute. This will just be one of those classic things that you guys know from season 1. It's not working. You know, they were not scoring, weren't particularly setting the world alight. So the AI often will sub one of its best players up front, as we've seen with Henry, to try and change things up. But you know, Angel 6 passes completed, didn't do anything. Shots, headers, nothing. So if anyone was going to come off, it was going to be him over Balaban. So the form of a player in a game does seem to matter, especially when it comes to substitutions. But Dublin came in and 3 shots through on target and a goal. And we all know what Dublin can do if he gets the starts. So it's still one to keep an eye on. Whether we'll ever claim it, I don't know. We'll have to see. As for Middlesbrough, Southgate again, absolute tank at the back. Fed up with bigging this guy up. I do think he's a great pick. Zepeda, he actually only had 2 shots, 2 on target, great. But really, I think his 8 came from the fact that he had a lot of key tackles here. 8 tackles, 5-1-3 key, and then headers 8-6-2. It's kind of rare, especially for a winger. So he put in a defensive shift. It's just a great pick at the moment, isn't he? Consistently high average rating, and he's chipping in. If he'll have amazing fixtures from Gameweek 11, is Balaban worth the 1.5 over Kevin Campbell? If he plays, probably, but that's the thing with it. I think Angel's the only one who's truly nailed. Balaban and Dublin are more rotatable. So it's whether you've got the bench to cope with that. Pirlo's beard. Kevin Campbell does rotate as well, actually, but seemingly not as much. Hey Jack, no worries. Thanks for stepping in, mate. Family has to take priority. Just about. Blackburn and Ipswich. Blackburn, you know, much the better side here, despite having someone sent off. They got higher possession, higher goals, and they lost someone since the 41st minute. So very comfortable for them. Ronald de Boer, 4 shots, 1 on target. You know, good pick because he's 6 million mid and he can often play up front. Still, you know, he is a good pick, but it's one of those guys we've talked about before who should do better, and often doesn't. So, you know, he could have done a lot better in this game, but that's probably the most you get out of him. I don't think you'll often see the likes of, you know, 2 assists or 2 goals or hauls from him, but he is very consistent. Sean Wright Phillips, any good? His stats are pretty pants, but he plays and he rotates a lot, so no is the answer. But when he does play, I've noticed he does do pretty well, and it's more to do with the formation and the position he's in, a position which Selakovic should be doing very well in and has not been, but it is a very good position. Casey been a great investment in the last 3 weeks. Yes, in expression, he has. Yeah, those home games, right? Who thought at the beginning of this season they would have, you know, 2 Everton, maybe 3 Everton players? That's the way it goes. Fixtures are king. Andy Martin had Janssen captain and Ronald de Boer. Yeah, tad unfortunate on Janssen. We all know he's great. Playing, he usually would play this role, but they obviously brought Ludvigsen in. Just didn't happen for him. Just didn't happen for him. There's not much more you can say. It's the variance, isn't it? Duff was good. First assist, the man of the match of the season. Bigged him up at the start of season 1. He's done nothing till now. But maybe he'll start to shine from now. We'll see. This was a Palace-like performance against 10 men from Ipswich here. Yeah, dreadful. Really bad. Horizon, slight signs of cheat mode, but it's nothing like last season, is it? And yeah, just nothing from everyone else really. Holland won a lot of tackles. We don't really want that. But I hate this formation they play. Absolutely stupid. So when the arrows that go forward are when they've got the ball. So when they've got the ball, Stuart is standing next to Pablo, or the side arrows are actually unique. They're different. Sometimes they're when they don't have the ball, sometimes when they do have the ball. So it's hard to tell without going into the background data. So I'm not sure on that one, but that doesn't really make too much difference anyway. But Holland will be standing next to Kumas in AMC because he won't go back. That's when they don't have the ball. So they'll have 2 forwards, 2 AMCs in a square right here. And then I'll have Gunnarsson on his own in centre midfield. He won't be dropping back because that's only when they don't have the ball. They then have these 2 guys push out to the wide. So they have this 3 system here. 2, 4. Which is very, very attacking actually with the ball. If you think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players all in fairly advanced positions. And then just leave the back 3 entirely. Ultimately, it's just not a good idea, is it? Especially away from home. And obviously when the opponent's got the ball, Gunnarsson slots in as a back 6 because these guys don't go forward. So they're incredibly offensive when they have the ball and incredibly defensive when they don't. And you could say that might be a good thing, but I don't think it works well with the transition. Yeah, and the thing with Ipswich is they've got so many players now that can play so many different positions. They're so versatile. You know, Tarico, you don't know where he's. Not only do their formations change, but the fact that he can play left, right side just means you never know where he's going to play each game, and it's quite annoying, really. Same for Jermaine Wright. He's probably one of the most versatile players in the league. You've got Gunnarsson who can play in defence or midfield. So yeah, it's a bit all over the place from Ipswich this season so far. We were blessed last season, I feel. Holland the only good midfield option. Yeah, I tend to agree. I think Kumas can be good because he's cheaper. I mean, he's got 3 goals in 6. It's not the worst, is it? I'm not sure how much Kumas is, but I personally wouldn't chance that. Need to freshen up their squad. I agree, Andy. Right, let's move on. Charlton and Watford. Right, this game, if anyone bought in Jason Ewell, well played, is all I'm going to say. Because this game, to me, was always the game where it was going to be madness. Right, Charlton on attacking, okay, and we all know they can score goals, but they can't defend for shit. Like, literally the worst defence in the league for some reason. Watford also attacking, away from home. Rare for a team with such a low reputation, and to be honest, with a team with not a good enough defence to do that. Yeah, it only ended 2-1. Look at this. 9 shots, 7 on target for Charlton. Could have had more goals. 24 efforts, 12 on target for Watford away from home. And Watford aren't particularly good offensively, especially away from home. I know they were on attacking, which obviously won't be a common thing. Watford could have scored like 7 goals in this game, given the nature of Charlton's defence. Absolute madness of a game. Petkov only got an assist and a yellow. I feel robbed. I feel like he'd done madness. Tommy Smith, 10 shots, 5 on target, 5 shots, 2 for Helgeson. There were some big hauls on offer here for the Watford forwards and midfielders. Yeah, utter madness, isn't it? Those stats, you don't really see those stats apart from your top 3 or 4 teams at home against absolute minnows who are playing defensive and mind the ball or something. Yeah, Watford like Leeds here. Exactly, Andy. That's exactly who comes to mind. Agreed. But as a result, the game was obviously crazy open. Jason Ewell could have got more. Everyone could have got more. But I think moving forward, if this isn't showing you already the fact that Charlton and Derby have conceded the most goals by quite a way, really, that you want to be targeting Charlton and Derby. But I think that adds to it, really. They're just, I mean, if they're allowing that. What did Schwarzer get in terms of save points, actually? He must have got loads, right? Let's go back. I don't think anyone's got Schwarzer, because most people... He got sent off in Gameweek 1, didn't he? 12 shots on target. Well, they could have had more. So what's that? That's 4 save points, potentially, but then they scored with one of them, so 3 save points. Still really high. Imagine they got a few more of those on target. Could have had a record haul from save points. Yeah, Brian Hughes, that was a nice little ad there right at the end, wasn't it? Unfortunately stuck on my bench, but a lot of people played him. I think if you played him, again, well played. This was a fixture you definitely wanted to start him in. He didn't set the world alight, but take the goal all day, don't you? Take the goal all day there. Derby, Bolton, I'd have had this down for 1-1, 2-1 to Derby. Definitely not 2-0 to Bolton. I know they're a good team. They've got these solid... We always know the defenders are utterly solid as individuals. But Bolton, that's usually in terms of getting clean sheet... getting bonus points. They're just churning out the clean sheets this season. I don't really understand how. Jääskeläinen's been on an absolute tear. But when you look at the stats, you know, the game's pretty equal. Derby slightly more possession and slightly more shots. You know, Jääskeläinen's just turned into absolute beast mode. Pirlo, I bought him Bartley off the back of his 17 shots in 5 games, and he has 1 shot at home to Watford. Welcome to fantasy football. Oh, you captained Petkov, Connect. Oh, wow. Okay, good effort. That could have been an absolute masterstroke. What a signing DeVos is. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. DeVos, Cooper, Hendry might, you know, is up there, isn't it? It's along there with sort of the Middlesbrough centre-back pairing, really. The Chelsea centre-back pairing. Absolute stalwarts at the back. DeVos has just got key stats in all the right areas apart from pace, like the whole of the defence. But yeah, playing Ravanelli. How much pace has he got? 10. Not good, is it? Christie, he's got a little bit more, but that's standard for most decent forwards. So they weren't playing against pace particularly, so it completely suits them, doesn't it? Rod Wallace and Pedersen, probably unlucky not to get a little bit more. Wally got me an assist. Yeah, he thinks it's his first return. Didn't even notice that until it came up on the Twitter comms. Didn't even know that happened. So that was a bonus. Gardner still played an 8. Did he have one of his run games? He didn't. He only had 1 run. That's going to bring his average down. But still, take the clean sheet for him all day. I heard Mode bought in Valakari, didn't he? Which I thought was a bit strange because Derby have been playing the formation with the DMC here, which has been Valakari. Let me just see if I can... You guys know. So it had been like this, which is a decent position for average rating usually, if it's in the right setup. But I thought, you know, attacking returns might diminish a little bit. However, they played him in midfield here, and in the end, he actually had 4 shots, 3 on target. So it was quite unlucky from Mode not to get some points there, I think. I think he was in the comms quite a bit as well. So, in the end, proved to be a good move. Moving forward, not so sure because he'll end up at DMC quite a lot. Sigurdsson as well, simple for Derby. He seems to have been a decent signing for them. Lots of key headers. You know, it's only 7 so far, but the tackles are reasonably high. He's not a bad option, but in terms of improving their defence, but I don't think anyone's going to be buying Derby defenders, are they? Everton, Newcastle. David Unsworth, the hero, for quite a few. Man of the match and a free kick goal, smashed it in. Been a great buy. target in these home games has really worked out for Everton. Better in the stats. Better on possession. Georgiatis played up front. Yeah, just some insight into the team leaks and stuff that I do. So I'll never do it with the result in mind. It's impossible not to see the result before you see a team's lineup, but I won't click into any of the players. I'll just click on and look at the lineups, and I'll just try and find something that I think is interesting. Now, you always got to bear in mind, like, my rationale for doing them is never to try and trick or anything like that on people. It's more to try and help people out, or if I find something interesting. So this week there wasn't that many surprises in terms of the lineup. I think virtually none. You know, and there's some teams we've already done. So I don't want to keep doing the same teams. At the same time, I don't want to pick teams that nobody's got any players from. So that led me to, you know, an interesting thing as far as I was concerned. It was that GX was up front. So that's why that got picked as the league. That was just my mindset there. Turns out he didn't do anything, but that wasn't, you know, in the thought process. It was more just there was nothing really interesting anywhere else. I mean, Ian Hart didn't play again, for example. I could do that, but we've done that already, and it's Leeds again. People know that now, so you know, it's not really adding anything, I don't feel. So I just want to let you into a little bit of the insight that goes on for me anyway on my thought process. David Unsworth smashed the headers again though. He tackles, headers, everything. This guy, absolute machine. Really, really good. Naismith too, yeah, decent. All of them did well. Di Matteo, 4 shots, 4 on target. It's almost as if Unsworth has a time machine and watches this every week, not to let you down, he delivers. Yeah. Well, you've got to remember that I have the added benefit of the pricing sim data, and Unsworth did very well in his second season, so I have got that to my benefit. It's not just plucked out of thin air. You know, I'm saying these things to guide players as well. You know, whether they actually come through on what I say is another matter, because every sim is different. But Unsworth over the course of the season did well in pricing sims. He did okay, and you know, when he's got penalties and free kicks, you know, you can see anything from 0 goals to 10 in a season just because CM's so mad. But his stats are great. So all he really needed was the spot, and in season 1 he didn't get the spot too often. But he gets it in season 2 a lot more often because he develops. Yeah, Kevin Campbell good as well. Di Matteo. So some good showings there from the key assets really. Just GX a little bit of a letdown. I mean, it's good to have your players playing up front like Ronald de Boer and stuff like that, and GX, you take it all day, but he's not really got the stats for a centre forward. Ideally, you probably want him more as an attacking midfielder, just because it probably suits him a little bit better. But he's a jack of all trades. He can do a job, can't he? You take it all day. What was Unsworth's goal like? Oh, here we go. Matteo barged Pembridge, free kick was awarded. Unsworth lined up the free kick, struck the free kick through the wall, scored a fabulous strike. It's from 20 yards. So, smashed it through the wall from 20 yards. That really does sound like Unsworth, doesn't it? Done a good job there replicating his real life skills, I think. Shearer, lots of headers. Carl Court came off injured. These guys playing Matteo at centre back, it's not really a good idea. Weakens their defence, if anything. That he's been dire. Good player, did very well for Leeds if you remember, playing at left back. Often got close to man of the match. Even in midfield he did okay. 6 games, 6.17 at centre back. He's just getting beaten in the air a lot. And it's the stupid AI really. They need to be playing him at left back and bringing one of the other centre backs. So I think this has just been a common theme. I mean, how can you win 2 headers? No, he didn't even win them, did he? 2 challenged and 0-1. It's not good enough, is it? So yes, Newcastle, if they continue to play him at centre back, the forwards that they play against, particularly as Matty always plays on this side, so whoever the right-sided forward is. So who are Newcastle playing next week, for example? These are the little things that, you know, sometimes they can make the difference. So they're playing Blackburn. Okay. They're at home to Blackburn. Typically with Blackburn, we don't know how they'll set up. But whoever the right-sided forward is, if they play that formation, could do well. I bet he celebrated by standing still with a puffed out chest before his players mobbed him. I love the puffed out chest, the Cantona. It's brilliant. You gotta love it. Turn into a Robin. Leeds and Spurs. Fairly comfortable for Leeds in the end. Tottenham, they never not have shots, do they? Even when they set up in a defensive way, they still had counter attack on. Bit of a strange setup with Poyet as AMC and Fortune in centre midfield. But this is what Fortune does when to the team. Now they've signed him, they try to find a way to fit him in. Sometimes it's left wing back, sometimes it's right wing back. Very rarely it's centre midfield, and then he forces Poyet to go up top. So like last year where we had Simon Davies not getting in and Salakovic having to play centre midfield because of shenanigans, it's now Stefan Everson that's missing out as a result of the signing of Fortune in some ways. Not always his fault, but quite often. And Sean Wright-Phillips, to be fair. So those two caused them not to play their best team, which is basically Everson and Rebrov up top, Salakovic AMC, Davies and Poyet in centre midfield. What to do with Salakovic seems a lot of investment for hoping for pens at the moment. Yeah, two goals, 2 assists. He's missed a penalty, hasn't he, as well? Or have I made that up? I can't remember. Maybe he hasn't missed a penalty. Maybe I'm thinking of last season. 7.50. It's not the worst. There's just a lot of midfielders doing better, and he costs a lot, doesn't he? But we all know, next week he could score 2 or 3 goals. He's one of those guys. I don't feel like he's a long-term hold now. I don't know. I feel like you'd get him in for set games maybe. He's a captain option potentially. But just because a player hasn't done it doesn't mean they can't do it. He scored and missed one in one game. Okay, yeah, that's where it came from. So again, that goes in. He's on 3 and 6, 2 assists, 5 returns in 6 games. And that was a game where you could have captained him, I think, right? I think it was a pretty good game. Was it like home to Millwall or something? I mean, I could look through this, but I'm too lazy. So, it's a knife edge, isn't it? It's a tightrope. It's always the way in fantasy football. When players are doing better for cheaper, then it forces your hand, really. It makes you think that you don't want to spend the money on these guys, but as soon as you do that, it can revert. Alan Smith, 4 shots, 4 on target, 10. We all know how good this guy is if he gets the games. We never know whether he'll get the games. Sad times. Viduka an assist, 3 shots, 2 on target. His first 6 games were like a write-off, but the last 2 he's done well, 9 and an 8. Started to return. Simon Davies again, 3 shots, 3 on target. He's having a lot of shots, Simon Davies. That's decent. Away to Leeds, considering his thing is picking up points from his passing. He's got like 20 for passing and creativity. He's a very creative midfield. He's obviously got the set pieces. He goes for the assists, does all that. But the last few weeks, he had a lot of shots on target. So unlucky not to add goals to it as well. Andy Martin, I have Davies and expecting some returns. Yeah, I'd be expecting them. And as he's the cheapest of sort of their better midfielders, you don't mind as much, right? You might keep him for now. It's a differential at this point, then, isn't it? Salakovic, that is. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, if he keeps not returning, I guess that's just what you have to do, right? That's kind of the thing. Get rid of him. But saw from last season, he was frustrating. It's just he was 8 million. But he should have been more last season, to be fair. I mean, he started off poorly because of what we just mentioned about the fact that he was playing in centre midfield a lot. But towards the back end, he started playing AMC and then showed his true worth. I mean, I captained a couple of times for braces and very consistent, shipping in with penalties and stuff like that. He ended up, was he score more than Veron? Close to it. And obviously Veron's a lot more. So again, it just forces that issue when you've got more expensive midfielders. Anyway, Chelsea Leicester, this game was dull from the comms, 50-50. Chelsea, they do this, they try and grind out wins, really. Let me go back because Andy's asking me to look at Spurs' fixtures. Watford away, Bolton at home, away to Chelsea, home to Ipswich, away to Middlesbrough, home to Man United. It's mixed, but obviously away. These 2 games are great. Spurs will attack away to Watford. They'll be attack. As in, Watford will be attack as well. Bolton at home. No. Yeah, that could be good. Chelsea away. That's tough. Home to Ipswich. That's great. So 3 out of 4 are good. I've got Terry and Desai. I was counting my clean sheet points. Muzzy is it in the 86th minute. And that was a kick in the balls. They still ended up getting bonus though, and this is why I like these guys. The rest of the team's pretty shit, so they're always in the frame to do okay. Even in away games, which is rare for the centre-backs. Leon Knight came on, 3 shots, all off target, so he could have made a difference. For Leicester, Jerry Ferry, is it back? We know he's still riding high on these average tackles, very high. I think he might be number 1. He got some headers as well. Brendan Davies saying he's just running Sims now. Watford Spurs is a ridiculous goal fest so far. Nice, good to know. Yeah, I mean most Spurs matches are, aren't they? But that does stand out. Is it me or are Chelsea struggling to score? They are poster points. They are struggling to score. They've obviously lost Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Zola's too old, yet they keep playing him. He's not really. He should never play as a direct centre forward anyway. So he's basically, they're almost playing with 1 forward because he just. I know he scored the goals, but they've been from free kicks, I think. So in open play, I don't think he offers anything. And Good Johnson, while he's decent, it's almost like they're playing with 10 men. Their goals will always come from out wide from Chelsea. Last season, guys saw it with the fullbacks and the wingers. You basically need Carboni to perform and Zenden to perform for them to get goals. And they can do. They got some decent games. Zenden was out injured for a while. So I back them to start scoring a few more. But really, they need to start playing Forsell instead of Zola. Muzzy, is it? I think he's still under the radar slightly, isn't he? I don't think many people have him. Leicester still got. I think Kemp was saying on his podcast that Leicester had some great games. They went and got spanked 5-1. But yeah, they had loads of home games in a row. So home to Middlesbrough, home to Chelsea, away, home, away, home, away, home, home. So many home games still to come with some tasty games here. Away to Charlton, home to Villa, away to Arsenal's bad. Home to Everton, away to Derby, home to Watford, home to Blackburn, away to Sunderland, home to Man City. Their run is ridiculous. That's ridiculously good. So the thing with Izzet as well is he's obviously that 7 million bracket. He's doing well from open play as well as the fact that this guy's got penalties. I think he's only scored 1 penalty so far this season. So this could be one of these freak seasons where he ends up with 10 goals in 7 games or something if he just gets a bit more lucky with the penalties. I think he's a really good buy for the next few weeks. Some people have already got him. So fair play. Likewise, I still like Delaney at 4.5. It's a decent average rating. And Jerry Ferry if you're looking to splash out. Better off starting with 10 men. Yeah, it's disrespect to Zola. So he can still bang one in the top corner from a free kick. I think both his goals have been free kicks. But he shouldn't be playing now. Might do peg him to Jerry Ferry. Luke with better analysis than the whole of Amazon Prime. Cheers, mate. I've never watched it. I always switch off at the end of games because most of the time the pundits just annoy me. And the commentators. I don't know if it's just me just getting Scrooge and Grinchy. I just don't listen to anyone. I usually just think, yeah, I know better. Even though surely I can't. You know, these are professionals. That's their job. And they're even ex-footballers that were in the game and all this stuff. But still, I listen to half of them and just think, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Yeah, there we go. Where was I? Man City, Liverpool. My boy Hippier, love that. Still got man of the match. Usually it's Honcho who beats him, but they were level for the bonus, isn't it, in these tight games? But there we go. Yeah, Man City attacking, offside trap, pressing. You know, they're using some decent setups. Liverpool were also attacking, so this game could have had more goals. Stats didn't really suggest that too much. Liverpool more shots, more possession. But they obviously had a red card, Man City, so that affected the game. And from there, all sort of, all sim data's out the window. As soon as red cards come out, teams change. Obviously, the tactic changed because they're one less person in terms of where all the players are. If it's a 4-4-2, you've only got one up top. That's what I mean, rather than switching to 5-3-2 or whatever. The way the team set up their mentality, everything goes out the window. So you just never really know what's going to happen. Sometimes having a red card can just completely kill the game because the other team, the Man City, for example, just go men behind ball, defensive, everything, and the other team just chill. But the fact that Man City, were they 1-0 up? They were 1-0 up at the time. So you would have thought they just sat back and Liverpool just couldn't break through. Only pundits worth listening to is James Richardson. Hoyginston, Lawrence, exactly. Even though, I saw that, John Richardson. Didn't get to watch the stream. I was playing some stupid escape room, but I had it on my phone, muted in the background, just so I could check. And occasionally, when she nipped out to the toilet or whatever, put the volume up, and I did actually catch that bit. Yeah, you got away with Howie. Okay, 62nd minute came off. Yeah, bit of jam, but there you go. If the red card didn't happen, could have been a different game, couldn't it? One shot still did alright despite his red. Not the passes, but 2 shots, 1 on target. Unfortunate. Sunderland home to Millwall. What the fuck are you doing, Kevin Phillips? 12 million of waste in my team at the moment. My biggest decision, I did actually spend quite a lot of time on my dead team. The setup was whether, my biggest thing that I had was, do I go with Kevin Phillips and a cheap midfielder, or do I go for Alan Boksic and a more expensive midfielder? And that would have been a 7 million one. So it probably would have been Zepeda or someone like that. I say that, but I don't know if it would have been, because it would have been Zepeda and Boksic, double up Middlesbrough. That would have been risky. So if I'd have done that, I'd be absolutely flying. But surely this can't continue. He is a strike. He's obviously great. We know that from season 1. He wasn't great to begin with in season 1, but then when Shreves came in for Sunderland, it kind of changed things. And when Sibon came alongside him and made him ridiculous, he was ridiculously good. And I love a striker with penalties, and he's not been getting the penalties either. So I think if we take these scores here and we buff him with maybe a couple of penalties that he was getting last season, suddenly it doesn't look that bad. But I really would have expected him to haul in this game. 5 shots, 3 on target, 1 assist. He'd have been my captain all day. And it's the frustrating thing for people who are playing the fixtures. And then there's people like me with Perma, Van Nistelrooy captain, who are just jamming points. I mean, I'd have said Van Nistelrooy won't score against Arsenal. And if he does, it will be 1 goal and he'll play a 7, not get any bonus. And Phillips has the potential to hit 2 or 3 goals in this game. Even 4 or 5. It happens in CM. How many goals is the most we've seen from a player so far? I think it might even be over a double where Viduka got 4. Could be right. But there are, Simmers will tell you there are games where a player will hit 5 in one game. Hat-trick and a couple of pens or something. So this is one of those games I would have expected him to do well. It's so frustrating. Gary Teal, again doing well. So he can often outperform Arca for 0.5 less. Didn't start that way. Arca's been fantastic. He is the better player by quite a distance. But Teal's key stats for a winger are good. And no, his average rating's not bad. He's just not really got the returns. But in the last 2, I think he has. So I do like that. And with the wingers in such good form, you'd expect Phillips to start scoring. I mean, even Sibon managed to score. Connection, since Millwall were allergic to scoring goals, captain is on Desai. I think that's a very safe option. I think a few simmers told me already that Millwall were averaging something like 0.3 goals in that Chelsea game. So yeah, considering how Chelsea play, how good their defence is, I've got double Chelsea defence. I'm strongly hoping that that's going to be a clean sheet. It's looking good. So Desai captain, it's quite safe. If you can get a goal and some bonus on there, then it could be fantastic. But I think it's safe, if nothing else. Arca has been absolute class. Yeah, he has. He's just great. He's a -2 potential player, so his potential could be anything up to 200. He could be better than Veron, Saviola, whoever. We just don't know. Millwall, shocking. Cahill did okay. Keeper with a 4. Not good. My player Paul Evans is bombed again, annoyingly. That's how it rolls. So yeah, those are all the games. Some interesting games there. I like that one. It's probably I actually enjoyed, because I did the comms for the game where there was a goal every minute on the last set of fixtures, and it's annoying really because you don't really get the chance to sort of tell people how the games are going. Particularly, you have to do it in the description of the goal, and when you're describing the goal and trying to sort of sum up how the game's going in terms of some missed shots and stuff, it's hard because you've got a character limit, so something's got to suffer. And when you've got all the stuff at the top of the goal, obviously the names of the teams and everything, these are just things that we have to deal with as when we're writing the comms. You're actually only left with a few characters to describe the goal. And yeah, there was just literally nowhere to fit in how the games were going because it was just an absolute clusterfuck of goals. So I kind of prefer this balanced one where we still got some goals, but yeah, I think Rory did a great job on the comms of just sort of giving you a feel of how the games are going, which I really like. Each to their own. Okay, so it was an international break this week, so there was no games for any teams. I believe that's right. Andy's in the chat, so stop me if I was wrong. He could be better than Veron Saviola, end up playing for South Shields. Yeah, there was internationals. The thing is finding the internationals. Was it friendlies or was it European Championships? I don't know how you find the run of friendlies actually. How do you do that? Was it qualifiers? Yeah. This is right, isn't it? Holland beat Estonia. Oh, there is Joel Lindpeer. I once had this guy, right? This is how random CM can be. I once had this guy be basically one of the best players I ever bought in CM. And I don't know if he's got random stats because at the time I didn't know as much about CM as I do now. So I'd have to check him out now to see whether he's got random stats. But he must have, because this guy was basically the world's best player. Like, he was ridiculous. And every time I would look for him in CM games in the future, and every time he was utter shit. So it was just that one-off where he was basically the world's best player. I don't know if anyone else has ever had that with a player. Or even Joel Lindpeer. But there you go. 2 games, 5th and 9th of October. Okay, thank you. Wales lost 1-0 to Spain. Abelardo. Pedro Muniz. Remember him? He was a midget. Craig Bellamy. Chris Coleman. Simon Davies. Getting 50 odd passes against Spain. I don't think so. Of course. Tomazzi, Montella. England won 4-0 against Cyprus. Fucking hell. Scored some goals. Stephen Hughes. Joel Linton, world's best player. No. Calm down. Joey Peaver. Yeah, he can do good. Isn't he the guy who can sign on free at the beginning? I mean, this is a decent team, isn't it? Nigel Martin ahead of Paul Robinson in goal. Despite Paul Robinson possibly being ahead of Martin. They do rotate quite often for Leeds, actually, but interesting. Ferdinand and Terry. Gary Neville-Cole, that's decent. Not sure about Nick Barmby in there. Stephen Hughes, Hargreaves, Owen and Fowler. Three assists for Nick Barmby. God, slag him off and he goes and does that. Oh, what a surprise. It's against a tactic where they've only got one player out wide, and a wide player does very well, including the fullback. Ah, interesting. Common theme. Zinedine. Bartes got subbed for Frey. Frey's better anyway. Probably had nothing to do. Yeah, no shots. So this is one of those classic things again. This highlights it so well. Players doing absolutely nothing, as in his key stats are nothing. Dreadful. But it's not his fault. Azerbaijan had done absolutely nothing and he hasn't touched the ball. So they just took him off. Oh, you're doing shit, mate. Yeah, Hargreaves is at mine, yeah. Thierry Henry still can't score against Azerbaijan. Gets a 9, 4 shots, 4 on target, but cannot find the back of the net. Playing in the team with Zidane, Trezeguet, all this lot. Stefan Dalmas slid in there. Ludovic Guli. Oh, a Boxic man of the match and goal. Past his nerves were frayed. Filling in for Colm, are we? Niall Quinn. Ireland versus Northern Ireland grudge match. Graham Barrett and Damien Duff, the hero. Doherty and Dunn at centre back. That's got comedy of errors all over it, hasn't it? It's not a bad team though, is it? Duff, McPhail, Holland, Kinsella. That's a decent midfield. Robbie Keane. Not bad at all. Not sure about Niall Quinn, but Dean Kiley ahead of Shay Given. Okay, okay. Jerry Ferry did fuck all here. Right, let's look at the fifth quickly and then move on. Conscious I don't want the stream to be 10 hours. See if there's a Swedish wonder kids doing anything else. Lakovic scored. Oliver Neuville, that guy. I think if I talked about him in the past, always scores against me whenever I play him. Sebastian Deisler, he goes to Bayern. It's already a pre-arranged transfer. Rebrov with a brace. Cliver, of course. Are we on Jess? I've never heard of this guy in my life. It's a pretty fucking good season there. I've not heard of that guy, I don't think. Barry Ferguson, steady. GX play. He didn't. Karagunis. Oh. Maldini, Nesta, Cannavaro. Oh. Montella, Vieira, Totti. Oh. Zambrotta. Everything's good here. Stefan Fiori's even half decent. I'd take him out. Pancaro's good, but they've got Zori, although he's played right side. I'd play Zori right, Zambrotta left, I think, because he plays either foot. Zambrotta here, Zori here, Tomasi, Gattuso, and you're laughing. Donny's good as well, off the bench. Oh, such a good team. Zidane again on fire, Vieira on fire, Henry again. Assists, playing well, not scoring. It's San Marino. That's was it Azerbaijan and San Marino? I think it was. Was it? Yeah. Fucking hell, Thierry. Sort yourself out. Heb, Sand, Schalke. Oh, he's gone to Hertha. Yeah, starts at Schalke. Beast. Niall Quinn again. Ian Hart. Is it a pen? No, it wasn't. Open play. Free kick. Hart lined up a free kick. He took the free kick, and it was a fabulous strike. Of course it was. Nice. Right, let's get on to the teams, guys. Sorry. Sidetracked. Fixtures, Luke, fixtures. All these guys play Saturday. That's imminently. It's the proper team, Pete Carter. You take out that fake thing. I don't think it is. I don't even think you have it in this CM, this version. In the future ones, you have to take them out in Football Manager and stuff. Yeah. Otherwise, you get Germany, Holland, and one other team. I think that's fake. Can't remember who it is though. Certainly Germany and Holland. Annoying, innit? All these guys play today. Extra days rest for Bolton, Sunderland, Ipswich, Liverpool. Amri needs a friend against Boreham Wood to get himself going. Well, he's now played a 9 against Man United with an assist, and then a 9 versus Azerbaijan and San Marino, and he's got 2 assists out of those 3 games. So he's played very well. Just can't fucking score. Can't fucking score. Save his life. Charlton and Leicester with the extra 2 days. Oh, I see, Anurag, yeah. Go past all the review, all the banter, all my insight, and just here for the team news. I know the type. I know the type. Here's Arsenal then. There's a few more injuries this week. Still not on the level of season 1, but there's a few bits and bobs. Oh, Andy Martin sent me a tip as well. Okay, nice. Just caught that. I shall read that out in a second. I'm just going to bring up my list of players in case I miss anything. There's been a couple of transfers as well, which is interesting. Right, good. We're good to go. Albertini, it's only 10 days away. He's been injured for a long time, but he is almost back. Everyone else is fine. Aston Villa, Boateng, 2 weeks. He went off injured in the game, didn't he? Pretty sure. Yeah, because Taylor came on. That's a big loss for them. It's been very good. Opens up a place in centre midfield though. Could see the likes of Merson. Everyone else is okay. Although Hitzelsberger played there once as well, didn't he? Maybe him. Blackburn, it's as you were as well. This guy doesn't play and he's 16. Don't worry, Ryan, man. Thanks for joining in. You can always watch it back. It's more to get it out of the way this week just because I've got other commitments. Bolton, a little bit worse off on the condition than most. They're one of the guys, they actually play tomorrow. A lot of these guys don't particularly play. Southall should be at like 95. He's requested transfer though, not sure if he'll play. Rodders, a few days with a bruised head. 90%. So good feature, but I think he's in quite a few teams. So that's kind of annoying. You just don't know whether we'll play now or not. Pitts is out for 10 days. Bruised head for Rod Wallace. Headbutt in the wall. Oh, and someone has left Bolton and joined another Premier League team. And you'll never get it by looking at their squad. So we'll move on when we find the actual player again. Charlton, Turner 2 weeks, doesn't play. Everyone else, all good. Roddy's brain damaged. Danny Shitu's on international duty with Nigeria. Interesting. His next game's in 2 days though. So I think he might be back. Yeah, the game's today. So he'll be back in time. Not that he plays anyway, but he'll probably be back in time, I would have thought. So if you're hanging on to Shitu, don't fear. Hopefully Rodders can play through the bruise. Yeah, just imagine a player just running through the field with a giant blue and purple patch like all over their face, looking like a grape or something. Smashed to fuck. That's what were they thinking with some of these injuries? Bruised head. Ipswich, Chelsea are all good, and these are one of the guys who have signed someone from Bolton. That's right. Dean Holden. Great Hasselbank replacement, in my opinion. Yeah, they didn't need to go. I mean, they could have. They could have gone out and spent loads of money. You know, they could have gone and got Ibrahimovic or someone like that from Europe. But he's got a big reputation, Dean Holden. I mean, he was warming Bolton's bench, you know, unjustly. I for one thought he was fabulous. You know, had a solid loan at Notts County, and now it's time to shine. So welcome, Dean Holden. If you ever wanted proof the transfer system in this game is fucked, there you go. Do you know? Annoyingly, I know I'm taking the piss, he can actually get okay, Dean Holden, and his stats aren't the worst, and he's a new signing. So part of me worries that he might come in for one of my centre-back partnership of Desai and Terry, for the plum home game against Millwall. I will honestly fucking rage if that happens. Because I've yet to get a double clean sheet from them for either a red card, you know, last minute goal conceded or whatever. And this is the best opportunity they'll have. And if fucking Dean Holden plays, I'm going to be raging. But over the course of the season, I would guess, and it is an utter guess, that he might get like 5 games. He could play it right back instead of Melchior. I think if you're eyeing up all the defenders now, I still think Melchior's ahead of him, don't get me wrong. Babayaro now over Melchior, probably just as the result is he's the only left back. We know Gallas can play there, but it's rare. Dean Holden was quite attractive. One for Ricks. Oh, fucking hell, Andy. Oh, Jesus. Derby. Blastis, 10 days. All good. CM Fantasy would be awful if that happened for our Sean Wright Phillips Cup tie. Yeah, we've got each other in the second leg. My team's looking like a free hit team this week. It's ridiculous. It's like the worst week to play it. So yeah, if I lose because of Dean Holden, I'll be fucking so annoyed. He was only kidding about Desai being finished. We know what this game's like though with the new signing bounce. I can't see it, Pirlo, but you never know. You never know. Everton, all good. Yeah. Alex Nyarko should be back, but he doesn't regularly play. Ipswich, there is a new injury here. Gunnarsson's out for 2 weeks with a twisted knee. He's been playing regularly. Where's their game? What are they doing? They're away to Blackburn. So let's go away to another They're rep 13, Millwall, but so we could see that where Gunnarsson was playing centre back. Man City are rep 11, so we could see that where he played DMC. So it's hard to know who will come in, but they've got options all over as we've discussed. Di Matteo star player already? Yeah, it goes on reputation. Is it reputation or ability? I can't remember which star player goes on now. If any Scala was in the chat, he knows. It's one of them. Anyway, it goes on the 3 highest either ability players or the 3 highest reputation players. I can't remember which one it is off by hand. Doesn't mean anything anyway, and changes all the time because they're all quite close quite often. What do they normally play at home, CM Fantasy? Are they normally attacking or normal at home on a tough home game? I can't remember. Let's go back to Ipswich. So home easy is attacking. Home versus Leeds, they were attacking. Suggests to me they'll be attacking. Yeah, just to show you, they attacked Liverpool. Sorry, this is niche simmer stuff. Can be normal against tough. Okay, it's probably going to be one of those ones that's on the annoyingly that's on the cusp, and we won't know for sure. But they attacked Leeds, so that suggests they probably will, right? A Leeds similar rep to Liverpool. I can't remember what Leeds and Liverpool are. I've got my little rep chart here actually. They're both the same. So that's what I would go with. We'll have to see. Leeds. Dewberry still 3 months. Candle Sheriff 3 weeks with a groin strain. All good. Did I miss someone? I have missed someone. There was a signing again for Derby. They've signed another midfielder, and they were interested in him. Matthew Oakley has joined for 4.4 million. Now, Matthew Oakley, was this not the player, Andy Martin, that you priced at like 7 or 8 million because he had one wonder season in about 100 sims and last season? So he's going to go into the game as a 5 million midfielder, same as Jody Morris. I think they're quite similar in terms of their output. You'd probably have Oakley slightly higher, maybe, just given off the fact that Jody Morris isn't known for returns. Is this the end of Tonton? When Tonton didn't even start. It's not even the beginning of Tonton. Should see less minutes for him though. So yeah, I mean, Derby do play a number of formations, don't they? Those 3 centre midfielders, but sometimes they play that DMC and just the 2. And they've got Burley, Murray, as you can see here, Morris, Powell. They've got loads of centre midfielders. Can't see it affecting Morris. I think it'll be Morris and Murray now if they do play that setup, which means they lose Burley, which is silly really because he's one of their better attacking outputs. Valakari, I imagine he'll continue to play. He's one of their star players. Can't see it being him that misses out. But it's just, you know, it's another player that when the AI spins that roulette for each position, and they're all going to be pretty close in ability. No one's stand out. I mean, Oakley's not miles better than anyone else, so more rotation there, I think. Transferring a Blackburn defender for Risa. Could do. I think there might be better options though. I haven't looked at the fixtures. The guys in here will probably be able to help you on that one. Where did we get to? We did Leeds, Leicester. Nothing particularly of note here. Akinbaye, we've already looked, he'll be back. Liverpool, we're getting there again, aren't we, with the injuries? Although most of them are peripheral. Bishkan's been injured for a little while now. He's still 10 days, 71%. Orange though. Heskey, a few days with a thigh strain, injured in training. And Stevie G is 10 days with a twisted knee. So their first choice centre midfield is usually Biscan and Gerrard. They're both potentially out. So yeah, Redknapp, who is wanted by Watford and transfer listed, could play. They could play Berger at centre midfield. They've still got lots of options. I don't think too many people have got the likes of Gerrard now. I don't know, he's probably pretty high owned because he's quite a casual pick, isn't he? But yeah, he won't be playing. Gives him an excuse to get rid of anything. A few low conditions here, but nothing to worry about for anyone really. Man City, I always think this is Glenn Whelan when I go to click this. And it is Glenn Whelan. But not the proper one because he's a regen. Scotty Brow, 1 week, 90%. These guys don't play, that's why I'm flying through them. One Chop is all good. His ban is only for 1 game and it's starting on the 16th. So he will miss, really annoyingly for owners, home to Charlton. The best game in that run. So now you're looking at away to Middlesbrough, away to Newcastle, home to Man United, away to Everton, home to Arsenal. It's a shocking run, really, considering home and away advantage in this. I'll have a little look poster points at the end when we look at the teams and the fixtures, and I'll have a look at a few and see if I can come up with something. How much is Risa? Manchester United. Yeah, time to sell One Chop, Andy, I think so. Bartes is out injured. He got it in the French game against Azerbaijan. It's only a week with a bruised thigh. So that means... Has Lille been on their bench? Yeah, it's been Ricardo Lille on their bench. So he will probably play. This is his stats. The fixture, though, they're playing home to Leeds, which is a great fixture for Man United. They usually do pretty well in that. Obviously, Leeds can score, but we know under the new manager they actually play very defensive away from home against the big sides. So it will come down to whether they can get some shots on goal. If they'll probably only get 1 or 2 shots on goal in the game, but it will be against this guy, so we know what can happen. The reflexes are very high. Handling's poor. He's, despite Bartes has got decent stats and he manages to let 1 goal in from 1 shot. So now Lille is a bit of a concern. So before I would have said a Man United clean sheet is very high chance. Now probably not quite as much. Yeah, I think it affects it, Andy. Not the setup of the game, like I just talked about, will still be the same. Leeds will have very few shots, I would have thought, because of the way they set up. But they've got very good players, and the keeper's shit. So it's just whether one of those goes in or not. I don't think you ship a Man United defender as a result, though. Unless they've got a really bad run of games. But even then, it's Man United. Sylvester's a great pick, isn't he? Middlesbrough. Boxic is at high percentage, which is good. Ian Pearce is a few days with a twisted ankle, 90%. So could play. Everyone else is okay. I also missed off a couple of Chelsea signings, actually, but they're kids, so let me just do that quickly. Yeah, so not only did they sign Dean Holden, they signed Thomas Christensen, who can actually get alright. I've seen him do well in the future. But, kid. And John Kennedy from Celtic. Another centre-back. Don't think either of these guys are getting added to the games. We don't think they'll play. Obviously, if they do, they will. Millwall, Nethercott, 2 months groin strain. Everyone else good. Newcastle, obviously a little bit of news here. Robert, few days with a stub toe. Injured in France's 5-1 win over San Marino. He's at 71% though, so technically could play. Carl Court, 3 weeks with a pulled hamstring. Got injured in the game. That's a loss. Good player. Works well with Shearer. They play long ball, obviously. So now you would have thought Bellamy will come in, who's very much not suited to long ball. 7 for jumping. I mean, they could go look elsewhere, but most of their other options are just dreadful. Yeah, Amiobi's only got 10. We only really care about Shearer, well I do. But yeah, it's not ideal to have one of their wingers out who's been doing well the last 2 games. Robert's done well the last couple, hasn't he? Very well. They've not signed him yet. They were linked with let's see. He's not even on the list of rumours now. Oh, here he is. Mark Birchall. They're still interested. Maybe they can add him. But again, I don't think the AI works like that in terms of their players injured, so they need to get a replacement in. If it happens, it will just happen because it's natural. Sunderland, Neil Ardley's few days, 90%. He's almost back. He should go straight into centre midfield, putting Lawson at right back and getting rid of Burnt Arse. Swartz is still very much long term. All okay. Spurs have got a few issues. Poirier is out for a week with a bruised jaw. He's 87% though, an orange, so could still play. Ziga, 1 week with a bruised shin, 90%, likewise for him. They played today. Simon Davies is 93%. Can't see that being an issue. Watford, Glass 3 weeks with a groin strain. He has been playing centre midfield for them. So yeah, Swanell probably comes in, something like that. But otherwise, that's it. Everyone's okay for the majority. It's kind of Newcastle with Robert and Court, Spurs with Poye Ziga, Man United with Barthez, Liverpool with Gerrard, Heskey, Bishkan are the main ones. Gunnarsson for Ipswich. Oh, Jamie Clapham suspended. I must have missed that one off. Still got 2 games. Liverpool and Chelsea though. Rod Wallace with his bruised head. Boateng injured. Jamie Radknapp is still rumoured to be going to Watford. Oh, they're interested, sorry. And Finidi is still wanted by Liverpool. Charlie Miller's still wanted by Middlesbrough as well, which we looked at last time. So we'll see if they develop. I think that's everything. Oh, Ryan Williams came in, did he? Okay, yeah. He's actually not bad at all, but it'd be nice to see if he gets a game. Where is he? Why can I not see him? There he is. Yeah, he's not too bad at all. At least he's got some attacking stats, like some reasonable ones. 20 off the ball for a midfielder's obviously what you want. Fantastic. Right. Let's look at player stats quickly, then do the fixtures. So here we go. Average rating for everyone. Chadder's in 5th. Danny Tiato. Some surprise names there potentially. Middlesbrough duo doing fantastic. Southgate. Tank. Despite his early sub, he was low condition. Boxic still up there. So this is just for forwards average rating. Midfielders. Defenders. You can always pause this screen, guys, if you want to take it in more depth. Goalkeepers. Let's go assists. So we've got 2 keepers with assists now. Comedy. Defenders, Gordon and Gray. Clapham, Makin, Neville, Silvestre, Makatira. Midfielder assists. Wilcox is creeping up again. And those are the forwards. Go for goals. We've got Shearer and Van Nistelrooy on 8. Boxic, Angel, Rebrov all on 5. All centre-backs on average rating for defenders. Yeah, common theme. Phillips should have done so much better with those games, mate. Fucking useless. Midfielders, Tommy Miller still at the top of the chart for those 2 braces. Yeah, he's got higher stats for a mid than he has a defender. Wingbacks often go down as midfielders in this. Gardner. And Ian Hart still leads the way as well. Well, with a few others. Despite not playing very much. Such is his talent. There we go. Let's do tackles per game, shall we? All players. Jerry and Matt Elliott right at the top there. Unsworth. A lot of these guys are decent for average rating. Tackles combined with headers. Damien Delaney's class as a midfielder. Stephen Hughes doing a good job there as well. Dribbles, Tommy Smith, which I've got your message, Andy. We'll talk about that in the fixtures. Gardner's up there for midfielders. This helps for average rating as well, guys. Carbonian's ending. Got some good games coming up. I think they could be good. And Silvestra's still up there for the defenders. We talked about that in one of the other previous streams. Under the new manager, the fullbacks push on. At detriment to the wingers, I think, for Man United. But the fullbacks can do well. Job security in Division 1 table. Okay, let's do that. Nothing to mention there. Division 1, Portsmouth and Southampton top 2. Fulham only 8th. They sold most of their players though, didn't they? West Ham 9th. Kevin Betsy. He was ridiculous for Fulham whenever he actually played. He's got some cheat stats. Not cheat stats. He's got some really good stats behind the scenes, Betsy. And yeah, he just needs the game time to play. He can even take penalties. I wouldn't be surprised if those 2 goals were penalties. In fact, can we even see? Yeah, 1 was a penalty. Crouch 2020. Saha 2 goals. His average rating's been crazy, but he should be scoring a lot more than that, my friend. He's doing an Henri over here. It's not bad for a left back, is it? 2 goals, 2 assists, 2 man of the match. 20 for jumping and pace, strength, bravery, determination. Interesting mix. He's got some really good stats and some awful ones. Chris Coleman, he's a tank. I've seen him come to the Premier League actually quite a few times, and Fulham have been selling all their players, so that could happen in the future. One of the lower teams could pick him up. Dougie Friedman. Gary Breen, he's another one who can do really well. So the Masters Linvoy Primus, where's he? He's my favourite. He's my favourite random centre-back who just has ridiculously high average ratings usually. He's let me down here. This guy can go to the Premier League and be like Gareth Southgate. He's got 20 for jumping and 20 for heading. And he ends up being like in the top 3 performers for average rating. Birmingham must not be playing man marking. Right, let's go to the fixtures quickly. Again, I say it every week, you want to take in the sim data that people are putting in the Discord. You want to check out Whitebeard's stats. CM Fantasy's video, very useful. All that stuff. I don't run sims myself. I'm literally going off of my feel for the game, so it could be off. However, I usually know how the teams will set up, and therefore it gives you a fairly good idea. So I can just go, yeah, it's just my opinion. Don't take it as read. So what are the fixtures? Yeah, those are the fixtures. So Arsenal versus Villa. Now this is an interesting one for me because Villa away to the top teams are dreadful. They play defensive and men behind ball without counter, I'm pretty sure. Again, if CM Fantasy's in the chat, by all means correct me, or if anyone's there, but I'm almost certain that is the case. So for this game, they're just going to lay down, and it's whether Arsenal can put 1, 2, 3, 4 past them. I would back that for a clean sheet. The keepers, hopefully they've got a decent keeper in goal who can keep out Villa's one shot if they have one. And Henri could be another good option again. It's 3 weeks of good games for Henri on paper. But will he score? Who knows? Chelsea Millwall, quite similar actually. Millwall with defensive. I can see again a clean sheet in this one. It's always scary backing a clean sheet in CM because they don't often happen that often, do they? But if you've ever got a chance, these first 2 games look pretty good to clean sheets for me. So I think Chelsea could keep a clean sheet here. They don't score an awful lot, but 2-3-0 sounds like it could happen. Could easily be 1-0 as well, because Chelsea don't really have that many good attacking players. But I think Zenden and Carboni are good options. So yeah, for this game definitely. And they've got quite a good few fixtures actually. I was going to say whether they'd be in one of my tips or not. I'll think about that after. Everton home to Derby. Everton should be attacking. Derby should be normal, I think. So home advantage I would go with here. Derby can obviously score. So yeah, it could be another clean sheet. Could be 2-1, something like that to Everton. I've got cash here. I might get Holden. Don't. I'll be so depressed if that happens. Man United versus Leeds. Again, Leeds will play defensive. Might even play men behind ball. I think they do. Again, CM Fantasy's in the chat. This is against Liverpool. Yeah, men behind ball, defensive, offside trap. Offside trap is good against direct style of play, which Manchester United do play. So that may help them out. However, I can't see it being that much. So Man United to win here. Usually get quite a few goals. Van Nistelrooy, good captain, I think. He's always a good captain, isn't he? But home game, with Leeds giving up the game, yeah, take that all day. So I think Van Nistelrooy is a very solid captain pick. And clean sheet is possible. We've already talked about Man United having a terrible keeper and Leeds having good players. So you never know. Middlesbrough versus Man City. Both low rep size, 12 and 11. Middlesbrough at home though, attacking. Yeah, I would think that this is another chance for a clean sheet for Middlesbrough. I think in Sim Data, Mo, who runs Sims as well, said that Middlesbrough did very well here for clean sheets. Loving that as a Southgate owner. Said my dead team looks like a free hit team this week. Double Chelsea defence at home. Van Nistelrooy as captain, and I've got Southgate home to Man City. So I'm hoping for big things. I think that could be a 1-2-0 win for Middlesbrough maybe. Zepeda another good option obviously again. Dwight York possible option? Yeah, could be. Cole can come in obviously, but if he plays, good option. Newcastle versus Blackburn. I would go home advantage here. Think Shearer can obviously get something. Not sure there'll be any clean sheets in this one. Matteo playing at centre back versus Blackburn. They'll play defensive away from home, but they're very good at eking it out. So I equally could see that being 1-1. Either 2-1 Newcastle or 1-1, something like that. Newcastle obviously without their centre forward as well in court, so that could affect them. And they're playing long ball against the likes of Weatherall, who's pretty good in the air. So interesting game that. I'm not really sure which way that'll go. All I know is I hope Shearer scores. Watford versus Spurs, as some people have already been saying in the chat, should be chaos. Attacking for Watford, attacking for Spurs. So yeah, it could just be goals all over. It could be that one team just batters the other team. So usually I go home advantage, but it's Spurs and they're a lot better. I don't know, 2-2. Pick a number out of the hat for that game. Be mad. Bolton at home to Sunderland. Sunderland aren't particularly good away, and Bolton have been ridiculous this season, but I'm still not sure on that one at all really. I don't know what Simmers feel. Maybe CM Fantasy can comment. I don't really know. 1-1, 1-0 to Bolton. Bolton don't score a lot of goals, so I guess it's just whether Phillips and Co can breach them. Bolton, Jaskalainen could get another clean sheet here, I guess. Phillips could be another blank for me, really annoyingly. I don't know how often Sunderland win this game. They're a bit random. I suppose they could. I can't call that one at all. That wasn't a very good breakdown of that game, was it? I honestly don't know. So when I don't know, I'll go for home advantage. Ipswich versus Liverpool. I would guess that that's a Liverpool win, but because they're away, They might ship a goal, so 2-1 to Liverpool maybe, but there's an outside chance of a clean sheet. I can't see Ipswich winning that one, but I suppose you never know again there. That's another tricky one to call. It's not clear cut. I've got Hippier, so I hope you can get me a clean sheet there as well. Charlton, Leicester. We've talked about Charlton now a lot, haven't we? Good game for Charlton, home to a low rep side. Leicester are generally fairly open. They'll be normal or attacking. So, could be a similar game to the Charlton-Watford one. Jason Ewell, Brian Hughes, think they could easily score again in this game. At the same time, Charlton's defence is shocking. Leicester will be on attacking. So yeah, I would play your Leicester attacking assets for sure. Could be goals all over this one. 2-2 again is probably what I'd go for. Going back to what Andy's texted me, he said his tip for this week is Tommy Smith, who is at home to Spurs, so a nice game, and he did very well last game, didn't he? Man of the match, 10 shots, 5 on target, goal. Like that a lot. And he's good with his tips. Who am I going to go for? Who am I going to go for? I feel like a Chelsea defender's too easy. It's a bit boring as well, isn't it? The fullbacks can get goals though. I won't do that. It's too easy. Jason Ewell's pretty easy as well, isn't it? Got to go a bit out there. I don't know. I'll go Zenden. Did Zenden do well last game? He didn't, but he was away from home. Home game against the worst team in sim data over the season. So go for an attacking asset. And can't trust their forwards particularly. So Carbone's easier. He's got set pieces and penalties. I'll go different with Zenden. Henry, yeah, I think Henry could do well as well. But again, he's a premium. Got to be a little bit out there with our punts. Tommy Smith and Bolo Zenden. There are some obvious names there. Right. You've got Bolton battering Sunderland. Okay. Brendan. Alright, interesting. Yeah, Sunderland saying they're not usually that good away from home. So I don't think that is off. And Bolton are a decent side, so yeah, home advantage, you can see that. Giggs and Sylvester versus Harpal Singh. Harpal Singh's on the left, so we were playing whoever's on the right. So it's not going to be that. Oh yeah, he's just typed not Singh, Mills. Mills? He doesn't play for Leeds anymore. It'll be Mabry or Kelly. Yeah, like that as well. I think the whole Man United team could do well in this game. But often, like you've just said, when you've got the teams that play only one player out wide, when they play against teams that have two, so a 4-4-2, the wide players can double up on them and do pretty well. Alright. I think that's it, guys. It's been a long one. Been a pleasure. So I'll try and get the team leak out for you as soon as I can. It depends when Rob Pick wants to do it. Enjoy the rest of the footy in your time off. Happy New Year to you, Mac, and everyone else. Feel free to obviously go back, guys, and watch this at your leisure. And good luck for the game week. I'm getting game week rank of 1 this week. It's happening. Andy managed it with a dead team last season. It's now my time to shine. I hope. Alright, catch you guys later. Are you hungover, David? Yeah, I think most people will be, mate. Enjoy the football. Catch you guys later. Stay safe. Stay at home. You know the deal.